Well, folks, welcome back. It's June 11th, 2025, it's June 11th, 2025, and who's still talking about the narrative of a white genocide in South Africa? Is it AfriForum? No. Solidarity? No. Noted conservative South Africans? No. Once again, it's a propagandist in the South African government and in the media who push this narrative and then try to dismiss it. They create a narrative of white genocide and then they try to dismiss it. How convenient to create a boogeyman that you can rubbish. Of course, they haven't really rubbished it. The stages of genocide have almost all been achieved in South Africa against its white minority, particularly its Afrikaner minority. And a cultural genocide has long been underway in an effort to extinguish the Afrikaans language, an illegitimate, immoral, racist effort to do so. But let's talk about today's news and the latest about the white genocide narrative in South Africa. Well, Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development's Acting Director General Nomthandazo Moyo has set the record straight on reports of genocide in South Africa. Well, thank goodness she set it straight. I mean, of course, those reports all come from South Africa's captured legacy media and South African politicians. But Moyo was speaking during the opening of the G20 Development Working Group in KZN this past weekend. We are one, whether we are black, white, Indian, colored, we are human race. Really? So why do you have 140 plus racist laws? Why do you exclude coloreds and Indians from BEE when the law says they're part of it? Why isn't there equal justice before the law? Why are white people given bail 50, 100 times higher than black offenders accused of the same offense? She went on to say, I can confirm there's no genocide. There's no deliberate action by this government to kill white people. It doesn't have to be a deliberate action by the government. Oftentimes, genocides are committed by other ethnic groups, and the government's negligence and neglect can allow a genocide to occur, whether there's one occurring or not. That is a stupid comment made by a stupid person who doesn't know the English language or is simply a propagandist for the government of South Africa. I can confirm there is no genocide, there is no deliberate action by this government to kill white people. Well, no one claimed that there was, you dingbat doorknob, Moyo. No one made such a claim. Why would you refute something that no one's made a claim of, other than to muddy the waters? We believe in humanity. We believe in one nation, irrespective of race. Our policies, our legislation, the application thereof embrace humanity. No, they don't. No, they don't. Your policies, your laws are repulsive. They're worse than the National Party in many respects. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Pushing people into poverty intentionally because of their skin color in a hateful revenge campaign. Stop it. Stop the lies. As the administrator responsible for land, Moyo confirmed that there's no expropriation of land without compensation when it comes to land redistribution issues, and there is also restitution for those whose land was taken during apartheid. Both of those are factually incorrect. No, the government hasn't taken anything under expropriation without compensation yet. But why do you need the law? Why do you need the law? You don't need the law if you're going to compensate people for the land. So you don't pass a law unless you intend to use it. That's the first thing. And beyond that, President Ramaphosa clearly stated after being shocked at the state of the central business district of Johannesburg that they're going to use expropriation without compensation to steal people's buildings. Buildings they falsely claim were abandoned. Buildings who many of the owners went to court to get the police to remove squatters and criminal gangs and syndicates from them after they were chased from their property. Now their falsely claimed buildings are abandoned. That's expropriation without compensation. So it may not have happened, Moyo, but it isn't germane. It's going to happen. And as far as it never happened in the past, that's a lie too. Expropriation with compensation has been used as a cudgel to falsely defraud people of their land on multiple occasions in South Africa's past 30 years. The Ackerland Boerdery is a perfect case of that. She said, when we restitute the land, we buy the land from the previous owners. We don't take it by force. Really? Then why do you tolerate and allow the theft of land in Sisheho, covered by SABC, the national broadcaster? Why do you allow the theft of land and redistribution by corrupt police near East London? And why do you allow the theft of land and redistribution by criminals in Northwest Province? You don't have to take it by force when you allow people to do it on behalf of the government or just ignore what they're doing. We do buy the land in order to give it back to those who had the land taken away through apartheid. Well, that's a lie as well. From 1995 to 1999, the only legitimate period in which people could ask for restitution, 75,000 plus land claims were filed. Virtually all those land claims were settled well over 20 years ago. Well over 20 years ago. There is no land that's been taken through apartheid that hasn't been settled except for less than 1,000 land claims. Most of them are in dispute because multiple claimants have claimed things and you couldn't all possibly be claimants to that land. She claimed that misinformation was being spread by the media. No. Well, yes, it's true. Misinformation is being spread by the media. They're the ones running the narrative of white genocide. And the misinformation is being fostered by South Africa's government, which lies to people. Moya is lying about land restitution. Moya is lying about land confiscation. Moya is lying about white genocide. She's the one spreading misinformation, and she's doing it in front of the G20. And these stupid fools who probably went to the French Academy in Paris or went to, I don't know, McPherson College in Canada or whatever the heck it's called, or one of the Ivy League schools, are dumb enough to drink this Kool-Aid. Look the facts up for yourself. Now, the Independent Line lets us know that since the meeting with Trump, Ramaphosa's meeting, more political heads and other leaders have also said there's no genocide in South Africa. Yeah, and? How's that germane to the lie she's telling? They say it included Academy Award-winning actress or award-winning American actress Viola Davis, Police Minister Senzo Mkuno, Free State Agriculturalist Dr. Jane Bice, and former African Union Commission Chairperson Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. Well, when people saw, they put the saliva on this all. And that's all you need to know about NDZ. Not even remotely credible on anything. And as far as Viola Davis had the following to say on Instagram. I spent a lot of time in Cape Town, Stellenbosch, Franschhoek, Paarl, and Durban. There is no argument. There is no justification. I've seen the ravages of apartheid. I've seen the townships, all black, full stop. Okay. What does that have to do with the white genocide narrative? What does that have to do with racial discrimination against minority South Africans? Nothing. So Viola Davis just confirmed on her Instagram account, because she's not a very bright person, obviously. It's a shame I watch her in the Jesse Stone movies because she's good at acting, and here she's acting again. I don't care how much time you spent in Stellenbosch and Franschhoek, Paarl, or Durban. Doesn't make you an expert on what's going on here. Obviously, you're brain dead when it comes to this topic, Viola Davis. You've seen the ravages of apartheid. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You've seen 3 decades of ANC rule is what you've seen. That's what you've seen, not the ravages of apartheid. You can't blame the Cape Flats on apartheid. It almost didn't exist under apartheid. It began coming about in the 1980s in the fashion you see it today, at the end of apartheid. So this is just utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. Yeah, I'm going to listen to what Viola Davis has to say about South Africa. And she doesn't even say anything about this white genocide. She says she's seen the ravages of apartheid. I've seen the townships, all black, full stop. They're not all black. Many townships are full of colored folks and Indian folks. Have you ever been to Chatsworth? You've been to Durban, eh? You've been to Chatsworth? Stupid people should wear signs. And another stupid celebrity should be wearing a sign. So all these voices are lending their comments to the white genocide narrative. Who cares? You're the ones cooking it up. So we're not going to sit here and listen to you when you don't know what you're talking about. Wow. Government official lying to the world. Well, that's what government officials do the world over. But in South Africa's case, it's especially disheartening because it affects people's lives and it leads to their misery. Government-enforced misery and poverty. What say you, South Africa? What say you, Mzansi? What say you, world? Cheers.